Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Nerchio and ShoWTimE on Orbital Shipyard. In the bottom left of Orbital Shipyard, we have the red Zerg player. It is Nerchio from Team Acer. And in the top right of Orbital Shipyard, we have Millennium's ShoWTimE, the blue Protoss player, hailing from Germany. So here we are, a PvZ between these two players. This is the third match of theirs I've cast in the last week or so. Nerchio needs soundproofing, apparently. There was a quick pause there, but we don't have to worry about that because we're on a replay. So I think the series is tied up 1-1. I believe Nerchio won one of the games, ShoWTimE won one of the games, and so yeah, go back and watch those if you haven't already. Some really amazing ZBP stuff there. Again, pro-level players from the Homestar Cup that wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. And let's see what these players are planning to do. Is ShoWTimE going for a Nexus first play here? It appears he is. 300 minerals, gonna get some minerals there. Harvesting minerals up 370, 80, 90, 400. Bam! Look at that. And going for hatch first on the low ground here, or the front ground rather, for Nerchio. Some players like to do this because you can defend this ramp and this base fairly easily, but if you're worried about this base, then you're kind of running up and back and forth and all over Tarnation. So kind of an easier place to deal with that early hatchery, and it actually kind of freaks ShoWTimE out. ShoWTimE says, okay, there's not a hatch here, it's way too late for that. What is going on? Oh no, he does catch the Ling coming on down, and now he can block. Oh, he almost had him. Nerchio, you almost got this thing down when you wanted it to happen. He is forced instead to make a spawning pool, get more workers, and the probe decides its job is done, and Nerchio does finally throw down that third hatchery. So okay, going for a 3 base, I guess it doesn't really matter where you take your second hatch because you have to defend all of these anyway at this point. So hey, good job on you, Nerchio. Back home, going for double assimilator immediately. Gateway just finishing up his ShoWTimE. And there goes the cybernetics core, right on schedule, or schedule if you are from London, and I am not. Probe still alive, still running around, checking things out. Does see the third hatchery, says, okay, this is definitely more of a macro play. I'm not worried about any 2-base shenanigans coming up from our friend Nerchio, and actually no gas being taken either. So it's a gasless opening with a spawning pool, which means we should see a bunch of queens for base defense. You need more than the standard 3 queens you would have on 3 bases if you open gasless, and so we're going to probably see more than that, possibly as many as 5 or 6. That's what I'd like to see anyway. Overlord comes on in. It's actually a Zealot in production for ShoWTimE. What on earth, man? Why would you not get an Adept at this stage in the game? If you're trying to block this off, which I assume he is, Adepts just do it better, man. Adepts 2-shot Lings, 1-shot, 2-shot Lings, without any upgrades. Zealots 3-shot them without any upgrades. They're both armored, and just Adepts are a little bit more tanky. They have more hit points there. So the probe mineral walks its way through that guy. Stargate coming up. ShoWTimE is planning on getting some Oracles out there, possibly some Phoenix. Phoenix can be really good against Zerg players, especially if they don't have any Spore Crawlers back home to deal with it, as I'm not sure that Nerchio is working on doing. Where is his Overlord? Overlord needs to get in there and start scouting. It's in a really good spot, this starport is, to not be spotted though. And there's that Phoenix immediately being chrono boosted on out, and now an Adept is being researched, Warp Gate research coming up as well. Nerchio, meanwhile, is droning up like a boss. He's up to 36 drones compared to 36 probes. He is on these 3 bases. We'll see these injects start to pop out and really help on that income for Nerchio. Overlord moving on out, sees a Nexus and actually catches this Phoenix. Okay, so the Overlord exists as an early warning sign that there's actually a real Phoenix on the field and will slow the Phoenix down. So what this does is gives Nerchio time to throw up some Spore Crawlers, or at least a Roach Warren, I guess, which is not super useful against Phoenix, but hey, then there's the Overlord. It does end up dead. Phoenix has fulfilled its purpose of killing stuff in the Zerg Swarm. The Overlord knows what's up there now. The Overlord says, okay, I know there's a starport up there. Trying to run away, but unfortunately for him, the Phoenix find him and burn him down to the ground. Or I guess just explode him. He doesn't really catch on fire. Watch. Blah. Pieces stumble down on the high ground and the low ground. Man, those Phoenix physics are gross. Overlords that die are disgusting. Couple Adepts here trying to do what they can. Queen trying to stab them away. Slow Lings are chasing them, trying to get a surround. Can they do it? They do pin one against the minerals, and one of the Adepts ends up falling. This Adept with 2 kills also gets surrounded, but is able to sonic transfer her way out of there. And here come 2 Phoenix. Rolling on in, rolling on deep here. Lings get a full surround on this Adept, and on the creep fast enough to catch her. Boom! She ends up getting killed as well. So all that's left down here is ShoWTimE, or for ShoWTimE, are 3 Phoenix. Just kind of patrolling around there. Did lose 4 drones in that assault, but really not as many as I think Nerchio was hoping to get. Phoenix checking for a 4th base. There is not one there. Slowlings running around for unbeknownst reasons, perhaps to kill some probes, but they don't have speed. They won't have it for quite some time. We're getting +1 melee though, which again, this early tells me we're likely going to see ultras. You have to start that +1 melee very, very early indeed if you're going for those ultralisks, and if you're not going for ultras, there's really not any reason to go for +1, unless you're using +1 lings to kind of stall to get that tier 3 technology, which doesn't necessarily have to include ultras. So I don't know, kind of talking in circles right now, but we'll see what happens with those tech choices later on. Alaire is now on the way for the Zerg player, and Protoss is getting Resonating Glaives, increasing the attack speed of those Adepts, picking up a couple of workers there that are out of position or transferring. Indeed they were, losing those workers, never good for the Zerg. Spore Crawlers are now up though. Spore Crawlers up in each and every mineral line. The Phoenix are left to catching probes that are transferring stuff on the periphery. Nothing you really have to worry about in the long run is losing a lot of your workers to these guys. So, Warp Prism on the way for Nerchio. More and more gateways coming up here, and +1 Carapace on the way for Nerchio. +2 attack for ShoWTimE, and both players just kind of teching up. Nobody really harassing much of anything. The Phoenix are flying around, and they're doing what they can. Getting up to a pretty big, impressive ball there. Free overlords, free drones, taking the drones on the gas. Always a nice move there. This guy saying, hey guys, I got this drone here. Can you kill him? Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness you came over and finally did that. The Queen stabbing away. Does she have any kills at all? No, no kills, but look at that inject. Two energy. Has been injecting very consistently throughout this game. Ling comes on in to scout things out. Sees a high number of Adepts. Infestation pit up here at the 6-minute mark for Nerchio. ShoWTimE continuing to make an observer, make more pylons. He probably should be preparing for a 4th base at this point. I feel like that's something he needs to do. Getting a blink. Is he chrono boosting that blink? And indeed he is. Chrono boosting the blink. It's one of the longer researches in the game. And chrono boosting it can be very, very helpful. +2 melee attack and glial reconstitution. So not getting missile attack, but getting glial reconstitution. So roaches in defense, but lings with +1/+1 as well. Interesting strategy from Nerchio. These Adepts come on in, see what they're dealing with. Spore Crawler at the front. Overseer scouting stuff out. Gonna die these Phoenix for absolutely sure. Bam! Exploding body flying forward here. Adepts, nope, not quite willing to commit just yet. Nerchio looking very strong though, heading out with the Warp Prism, gonna come around that backside and attack at the front at the same time. Phoenix taking shots, Corrosive Bile being thrown down, missing everything. So hard to kill a Phoenix with Corrosive Bile. It's just slow and it telegraphs where it's going to land, and Phoenix are quick and the reaction time is super fast too. Anyway, the army comes on out, killing, look at this creep spread from Nerchio, coming all the way up there. Meanwhile, Warp Prism with some nefarious purposes in mind. Da-dun, da-dun. It's like the Jaws shark. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. As Nerchio's researching a hive, as well as muscular augments, and getting some infestors out. Here come the Adepts. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. The Queen trying to kill stuff, but no, not able to do it. Not able to kill these Adepts in time. So many workers are falling. 3, 5. Roaches come on in to kill these guys, but a pickup and a retreat from ShoWTimE gets 2 of them out of there. Anyway, that's nice. The Phoenix just kind of chilling. Lack villains. Creep spread continuing to be pushed from Nerchio. And melee attack level 2. Almost to be completed. An aggressive push for Nerchio, heading on up here. Some lings involved here, some roaches, but that army looks big. It's a lot of stalkers, a lot of Adepts. +2 attack again on these Adepts and on these stalkers. Taking some shots. The roaches +1 armor, but no plus attack. Hydra's very, very good in this situation. I'm not sure if that's a good angle of attack, though. Nerchio also agrees, going to move on out. Move on back, maybe find another place to attack. Blinking forward, though, is ShoWTimE, and now the concave is in Nerchio's favor. A fungal on top of a bunch of those units. The Infestor gets focused down, though, with a blink forward, losing Ravagers, heading on home to the safety of the creep, and feeling more comfortable once he gets there. So Nerchio setting up, trying to kill these guys. Does catch 1 or 2 stalkers. Any more here? Force field separating a lot of these Hydras away, but the Hydras do have muscular augments. Their attack range has been increased. forcing ShoWTimE to retreat here. Fungal catching a few sentries. Wow, that's a lot of gas lost for ShoWTimE right there. And these guys also took the wrong way around. Oh, free Immortal, free Immortal, free Adepts, free Sentries. Everything here getting completely destroyed there. Lings running on in there. The cannon placement, the secret hidden cannon placement, though, messing up the Lings API or AI. And Infestor at the front line does get taken down. Photon overcharge on all three of those pylons. Attacking from both sides here. Immortals on the high ground just wrecking everything. Time Warp slowing everything down as well. But the Lings rocking on in. There's another attack here of Roaches and Hydras just standing in this mineral line, trying to kill everything that they can. Being lifted are the Hydras, but lifting, but not actually attacking at all. The Hydralisks are kind of, yeah, and a Roach there. They're helpless, but they weren't actively being killed in the air, which is kind of weird. Anyway, heading on back home, Nerchio, I think, could have damaged, did kill 8 probes. 8 probes have been lost compared to 22 drones that have died as another drop here, killing more workers for Nerchio. 63 to 66 harvesters in favor of the ShoWTimE German player. Lings running on in once again. The army smelling it though for ShoWTimE, and the Lings trying to kill so many probes. Already killed 4, 6, backing on out. Blinkstalkers trying to save the lives of their workers. Phoenix rolling in once again, but there are Hydras ready to go, ready and raring, catching Overlords. Here are the Phoenix, and the Overlord does end up falling. Supply blocking Nerchio, no, not even close. Another Adept drop down here. Gonna lose all these Adepts. No, picked up and saved. The Warp Prism doesn't manage to escape, and it does. Oh, this Warp Prism MVP so far, man. Rolling on in and gonna drop in the main base. Maybe not. The attention seems to be elsewhere. Lings running up once more, getting spotted by the main army and forced to take another path, another direction, perhaps scouting for bases up here. Wait, where'd that Warp Prism go? Did it try to come in and die? Warp Prism, did I miss you? Yes, Warp Prism is dead. Aw, tried to come in and do some more drop-in stuff, but it looks like, what caught him? A fungal bile, maybe? I don't know. Lings, oh, free Immortal if you want it, Lings. They do not. They do not, however, pushing on in. The Ultras are out. Broodlords under construction. Corruptors on the way. And Lings just dancing right now. They're running around. They're trying to get up with the rest of this army. The Collector's Edition Ultras looking fancy. +2/+2. Chitinous plating on the way? I don't think it is. Is it done? Ultralisk Cavern. There are lurkers on the ground as well. So Nerchio getting pretty much every tech that you can get at the higher levels. Not getting chitinous plating, choosing instead to use his gas elsewhere on Broodlords and Infestors. Interestingly enough, Tempest immediately on the way for ShoWTimE, trying to deal with those Broodlords as best Protoss know how. Also a Dark Shrine and 2 more Assimilators. Yep, exactly what you want there. Phoenix scouting out this space, pulling back to a defensive position here is ShoWTimE. And the army for Nerchio heading up the left side. Lings splitting off here. Maybe trying to force a cancel on a Nexus, I suppose. Oh, Phoenix picking up transferring drones. 5, 6 drone kills there. But everything up here gets murdered by them there, Lings. And can they run in possibly? No, the army's defending this base. ShoWTimE knows if he loses this base, it's over. This is pretty much his only mining base right now. There are scattered minerals left on his first and second. But man, he needs to expand, and he needs to expand soon. Warp Prism heading on out to try to kill this base. Adepts trying to kill the hatchery because, I mean, they're not great at killing buildings, but if there's nothing else to do, they might as well do that. Broodlord count looking pretty darn fancy. Indeed, and here we come. Nerchio rolling on in with the Ultras, with the Broodlords, and the Roaches, and the Lurkers. Ultras crushing down everything on the ground over there. Broodlings falling from the sky. Fungal growth sticking everything to the ground here. The Immortals are out of their element, except against the Ultras. They're pretty good there, I suppose. The Broodlords continue to stay alive, but are forced to retreat as their ground support army has been destroyed here. Tempest raining down fire from above. Broodlords trying to stay alive, dropping as many Broodlings as they can here, but the Stalkers, boosh, and the Tempest totally destroy them. Waddling home are Infestors and Ravagers, trying to get back onto the safety of the creep. The Lurkers, I don't know how much damage they actually did there on that attack. I'm not sure if they burrowed or what, but Anion Pulse Crystals on the way for ShoWTimE, increasing the attack range of those Phoenix. A couple Adepts out in the middle of nowhere, going to die to these Mutas and these Lings. +1 fire attack, +3 melee. Just about to finish here for our friend Nerchio. As a pylon just gets destroyed and running on up to try to threaten this base. Once again, ShoWTimE, if he doesn't expand, I feel like he's in a lot of trouble here. Warp Prism ready to force cancel on that base. DT is absolutely laying waste to this base. Big attack here getting shoved back by ShoWTimE. Infested Terrans trying to kill stuff. Lurkers trying to take out this Nexus. Can he get it? Oh man, this game is so close. Mutaflock looking fairly good, actually. Flying on back, maybe trying to catch some of these probes that are out of position here. And the Ravagers decide to make a stand. They're going to die for it, but that's okay. Some transferring mutas on the way as well. The Lurkers do manage to take out the Nexus, and Nerchio, wait. Nerchio calls the GG. Okay, so it's not often I'm completely speechless, but that, I don't know. Was that I guess it wasn't a premature GG. ShoWTimE's army was big, 187 and 117 total supply. Nerchio was not mining here, lost these bases to TTs. This was still up and running though, and ShoWTimE didn't have anything coming in either. I mean, what did his Mutaflock do? Mutaflock was still 16 mutas. He was still trying to kill stuff in here. Did the Phoenix rock them? The Phoenix might have taken them down. I think that might have been what caused Nerchio to call the GG. Let me back up just really quick here. That should be about 20 seconds. Okay, so the mutas fly on in. Oh, that's what happens. Okay, so the Phoenix rock on in there, and yeah, all those mutas were dead. There was nothing else they could do. All right. So the mutas had been completely compromised. That Phoenix count was way too big for them to deal with it. The ground army of what was left were 2 Archons, 4 Dark Templar, 8 Immortals, 10 Stalkers, 9 Phoenix. Yeah, ShoWTimE's army was good. All that was left were essentially 4 Lurkers for Nerchio. Income wasn't not that good either. Didn't have much in the bank. And that was it. So again, I feel like it was a little bit premature, but in the end, ShoWTimE did have a pretty big advantage there. It would have been very hard for Nerchio to come back from that. And in the end, ShoWTimE took the game. So well played by our German Protoss player, ShoWTimE, winning this game today against the Zerg enemy. And that's about it for me. So this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.